Good morning, family. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Thanks, Paul. Good morning. Thank you. How are you? It doesn't feel like this mic is on, but I'm going to talk anyway. So I'm honored and blessed to introduce to this community a native of San Jose. Her mother went to Willow Glen High, I'm told. And also, Dave Dumont is so excited that Desiree Goyette Bogus is finally here. She has made her reputation in music as a children's music writer for television. And she is also the wife of a dear friend of mine, an Uncle Bucky. I know him from writing music for Garfield and Charlie Brown music. So let's welcome to the community this morning. She also has CDs to sell today. Desiree Goyette Bogus.
Such a joy to be here. What bright faces for this early in the morning. That's great. All right.
In the early morning when my heart is waking up, I imagine just how well my day will go. And if my soul's a little anxious and my hope's a little down, I take a moment to remember all I need to know. The Lord will preserve my going out, shine a sweet light on any doubt. Each step to take, each gift to wake, each song to sing. The Lord will preserve my coming in, showing me right where to begin. The Lord will take care of everything. And in the middle of the afternoon, it's easy to get lost in all the things you think need to be done. Pressing on, you fight your battles, feeling tempest-tossed, forgetting that the battle is already won. The Lord will preserve your going out, shine a sweet light on any doubt. Each step to take, each gift to wake, each song to sing. The Lord will preserve your coming in, showing you right where to begin. The Lord will take care of everything. Well, it's tempting to think we must take on the world, so we make our plans, replacing faith with will. But right there in the earthquake, the whirlwind and the fire, a voice within us whispers, peace be still. In the quiet of the evening, when the sun is going down, I settle in and put all care to rest. For I know right here is heaven, and love is all around, and all of God's creation is forever blessed. The Lord will preserve your going out, shine a sweet light on any doubt. Each step
When I pray, I feel my heart go deeper, my heart go deeper into my God. When I pray, I feel my heart go deeper, my heart go deeper into my God. Right here, right now, right where I am, I pray. Sing along. Right here, right now, right where I am, I pray. When I pray, I feel my soul go deeper, my soul go deeper into my God. When I pray, I feel my soul go deeper, my soul go deeper into my God. Right here, right now, right where I am, I pray. Right here, right now, right where I am, I pray. Right here, right now, right where I am, I pray. Right here, right now, right where I am, I pray.
I hope this day finds you happy and open to the possibilities of your life. Hello to our live streaming family, and welcome to the Center for Spiritual Living San Jose, where in this very room we transform lives, we build dreams, and we reveal love, where all that we ask is that you remain open to the possibility of changing your entire life by changing your mind. Welcome home. My name is Nicole Fraser, and for one last week, I'm a practitioner awaiting licensing. Me and 4 other lovely, beautiful women. Well, 3 really, but that's a long story. So, anyway, I just want to say if you are here for the first time, we have all been here for the first time, and welcome. We're so delighted that you're here. We have a free gift for you, and if you have many questions about some of the wacky and strange things that are about to happen, there is a concierge in Fellowship Hall that can answer all of your questions. And if you are a little busy today, we have free gifts for you in the foyer on your way out. And if you are online today, Max Overland is your moderator. He's doing it from home as he heals. Yee-haw! More healing. Yes, and now, to already begin the promise that we made at the beginning of this beautiful service, we're about to start revealing love. Please look around and greet the sacred spiritual being around you. Yay! Jimmy. Hi, good morning. Oh, yay! I get to...
What a joyous day that we're celebrating here at Center for Spiritual Living. My name is B.J. King. I'm practitioner emeritus. And if you've not turned off your cell phone, please do so now, because we're entering a very sacred time of the service. There will be 2 minutes of silence, followed by a prayer, and then the affirmation. But first we're going to have a chant to set the tone.
Right here, right now, right where I am, I pray. Right here, right now, right where I am, I pray.
Let's stay in that sacred space, please. In this holy place, the aliveness of God is everywhere. In your smile, in your touch, and sometime in your sorrow. But we know that God is always present, touching us, helping us to heal and experience well-being in whatever is going on in our life. This is the place that you can let it all go and understand that God's got it. This sacred place of love and peace and joy and understanding that takes away everything else as we allow our hearts to open and the joy to return to our face. This is a place of being very grateful for the freedom that we have to worship and pray however we choose. This is the place where God is. And that mighty presence is here in me and you. And because we are all one, I can easily let this prayer go because God's got it. And I know that all is well. And so it is. So please join me for the affirmation. Everything I think, let's say it together, please. It's not here. There it is. Okay. Together, please. Everything that I think, say, or do is governed by divine intelligence and inspired by divine wisdom. I am guided into right action. I am aware of my partnership with the infinite. I know that everything I do shall prosper.
Put my finger on it, yet I can depend upon it. Yes, it's flowing through and moving me, setting apprehensions free. Oh yes, and you don't have to see it to know. You don't need to wait for it to grow. You don't need to set your sights on some long distant goal to know you are the song of soul. It's like the morning sun arising, comforting and harmonizing, yes. Painting everything I see in rainbow-colored artistry. Oh, yes. So you don't need to climb the highest peak. Don't need any magic words to speak. You don't need to try and measure up to prove you're whole, to know you are the song of soul. Right this very minute, there's no boundary, no limit to your light. One with all creation, you're an endless celebration, singing through the night. You can't quite put your finger on it, still you can depend upon it. Yes, it's animating you and me, setting apprehensions free. Oh, yes. So you don't need to search the deepest seas. You don't need to change your history. You don't need to cross some stormy bridge and pay the toll to know you are the sun. Just know you are the
It's time to play Wheel of Wholeness. Say that with me. Wheel of Wholeness. Here's your host, Pat Lyman.
Hello, and welcome to the Wheel of Wholeness. I'd like to introduce my lovely assistant, Vanna Beige. Yes, it's time to play. Thank you, Vanna. Let's meet our three contestants. First up, from Sunnyvale, California, we have Bob Needy. Tell us about yourself, Bob.
Not much to tell. I'm an unemployed engineer, about to lose my house. You know, the economy, the crash, just another statistic.
Sounds like somebody's been reading too many headlines, Bob. Next up, we have Wanda Worry from Milpitas, California. Wanda, I understand you have 3 teenage boys at home. How's that working for you?
Hi. Yes, I'm a housewife with teenage boys, and frankly, it's not working. I worry about their grades. I worry about their friends. I worry about them driving the car.
Well, yes, parenting can be a challenge. How do you handle it?
I worry. The world's a horrible place with danger everywhere.
I guess you could look at it that way. That's one choice. Our third guest is Francis Frail from San Jose.
Hello, Pat. Is it hot in here? Do I have a fever? Oh, my God. Oh, I'm an admin at a law firm. Oh, and all kinds of sick people come in there and give me their germs. I'm always coming down with something.
Of course you are. Okay, let's play Wheel of Wholeness. Here's how the game works. Our contestants are going to spin the wheel to find out what they're praying for today. All right, we are going to show you a clue. You're going to spin the wheel, guess the letters. It's just like Hangman. It's not that difficult. And here are our letter bearers.
There they are.
Great. Okay, Vanna will now show us today's clue. The clue reads, isn't she lovely? The clue reads, what is your spiritual truth? Okay, Bob. She's wonderful. All right, Bob, let's spin the wheel and find out what you're praying for today.
Big money. Big money. Praying for big money.
Abundance is yours. Now, pick a letter.
S.
Vanna, is there an S? Yes, 3 S's, Vanna. 3 S's. All right, Bob, do you want to try and solve the puzzle?
I can't solve the puzzle. I don't know my spiritual truth yet.
Yes, you do, Bob. Yes, you do. Maybe Wanda will help. Wanda, let's give that wheel a spin and find out what you're praying for today.
Come on, wheel. Oh, I hate this. I'm so worried it's going to land in the wrong space.
There are no wrong spaces in this game, Wanda. You've got peace. Now, pick a letter.
H.
Vanna, is there an H? Two H's, Vanna, 2 H's. Okay, Wanda, do you want to try and solve the puzzle?
No, I want to pick a vowel, but I'm worried which one to pick. I guess,
Vanna, is there an O?
There's Tom Bam.
2 O's. Wanda, another chance to solve the puzzle.
I can't. What if I'm wrong? I've worried about this for weeks.
Worry no more. Peace is already yours. All right, Francis, that makes it your turn. Let's give that wheel a spin and find out what we're praying for today.
Okay. Here goes. Is my throat red?
Not anymore, because you have freedom. Freedom to choose how you feel each day.
Freedom? I need to choose a medical plan, not freedom. Whatever. Is there an L?
Vanna, how about L?
There is no hell. You know that.
L, Vanna, not hell.
Oh, okay. There's two of them.
2 L's. Francis, would you like to try and solve the puzzle?
That first word is ill. It's ill something. I know it. I will take a vowel. I would like an I.
Vanna, do the I's have it?
Yeah, there are 3 I's, but ill is not the first word.
That's right, Francis Freedom. Okay, that brings it back to your turn, Bob. Let's give that wheel a spin, shall we?
I don't need to spin. I've been watching the wheel and listening, and I realize I already have all of the qualities of God. And I know my spiritual truth. I want to solve the puzzle.
Well, tell us, Bob, what is your spiritual truth?
This is so exciting! Tell us.
All these things God is, I am.
Yes, you are! All three of you are all the things God is. Well, thank you for playing today. That's our game, Wheel of Wholeness. And remember, you are God informed, so act accordingly.
We have a lovely party gift for you and our studio audience. Your very own Wheel of Wholeness. Thanks for playing.
Good morning. Thank you very much. Well, the sermon that I had prepared was prepared before I actually experienced the game show, so give me a moment while I adjust. Does that ever happen to you with life? You know exactly how it's going to happen, and then it doesn't. I think Lucy Witt has just become my new favorite person in the world. Yeah. When I saw her this morning with her lipstick a little off, I wasn't quite sure if that was on purpose because I didn't know what was happening, and I began to be a little worried. See, for 16 years I worked at Albertsons Supermarket in a little town southeast of Los Angeles called Downey, and I was the night checker. And I remember every day there was a woman who would come in, and obviously in the morning she had put her lips on perfectly, but she had this interesting tic. So while she was in line waiting to pay for her groceries, she would do this with her lips. To the point that by the time she got to me, her lips went from the very bottom of her nose all the way to her chin. And I never knew if I should say anything or not. So when I saw Lucy this morning, I just... Hi, Lucy. And now I'm so grateful that it's on purpose and that her meds are in order. I'm really moved by the phrase, all these things God is, I am. It reminds me, it was like a throwback to the days when we used to have the family candle lighting. Do you remember that? God is life, I am life. God is love, I am love. God is peace, I am peace. God is joy, I am joy. God is beauty, I am beauty. God is power, I am power. And together we say, all these things God is, I am. And I don't always remember all these things God is, I am, because sometimes I find that I'm distracted by what takes place in the world. You know, illness or traffic jams or loud neighbors. Or something that I saw on the news this last week. It was a group of people who were in Murrieta, California, which is in Riverside County. I don't know if you've been keeping up with the news at all, but there seems to be an interesting surge of minors from other countries trying to cross into the United States. And there have been busloads of them who have been sent to retention centers so that they can be processed and either welcomed into the United States in a legal fashion or sent back to their country of origin. In this particular case, there were three buses, filled with 140 children who were apprehended in Texas, having crossed the border without papers. And Texas didn't have the ability to process them, so they were put onto buses and sent to Riverside County. Well, the folks in Riverside County, in this little town called Murrieta, I'm imagining good people. I'm imagining upstanding people. And I'm imagining people to whom their world matters. Well, they didn't want any part of this, so they created a human barricade to block these buses from coming in. And they were holding American flags and signs saying, illegals out and go home. And while I was watching this, I was reflecting not on a judgment I have about the people of Murrieta, but I was thinking how often I have been one of those people. Maybe not really with a banner or a flag, but I have been vehement in my opposition to something. Have you ever been like, you've been the person who you're absolutely there for a cause, but the cause is really not something to transform. The cause is against something. I was imagining what it might have been like if the Mayflower had come up to the coast of New York when people were standing there with signs, go home, illegals, get out. We decided just to kill them instead and move on in. Yeah, well, apparently that's not a very popular perspective, so I'm going to move on. So while I was watching what was taking place in Riverside County, I was thinking about Weight Watchers. Because that's what one should do, right? Now, I know I've practiced a lot of eating plans in my life, and I've noticed there's a similarity to each and every one of them, whether it was a low-carb, high-protein, whether it was a balance the zone, whether it was counting your points. They all work when you work them. That's what I've noticed. Every one of them works when you work it. And I've noticed that every one of them doesn't work when I don't work them according to the plan, but I work them according to my plan. And my plan isn't always so workable. So I was thinking about Weight Watchers while I was watching all these folks in Murrieta who were spending their life energy in anger. In Weight Watchers, the current incarnation of Weight Watchers is that depending upon your weight, your height, your age, you get a specific amount of points that you can spend on just about any food you want. And they've updated it now with Weight Watchers. Almost all vegetables and almost every fruit is free points, which means you can eat as much as you want. Now, years ago, I remember in Weight Watchers, even fruit cost you. Nowadays, not anymore, because I think even if you ate nothing but fruit and vegetables, that's not what made you the way that you are today that wants to not be that way. So go ahead and have at it. So fruits and vegetables are free, but for the other things that you want, they're going to cost you. And they cost you points. And what I learned from a very successful man who's recently lost about 50 pounds on Weight Watchers is when he's looking at the cornucopia of food that's available to him, he simply asks himself this question: is it worth it? So before he spends his 5 points on 28 peanuts, he asks himself, is it worth it? Before he spends his 2 points on a hard-boiled egg, he asks, is it worth it? And if it is, he eats the peanuts or he eats the egg. And if it isn't, he saves those points for something else. And I was watching the folks in Murrieta, and I was thinking, is it worth it? If it is, go for it. But if it isn't, refrain. When I'm moving through the world nowadays, I'm asking myself that a lot. I encounter lots of opportunities to rage or to react or to be upset or to forget all about these God qualities. To actually forget all these things God is, I am. I run into opportunities every day to forget them. And I can ask myself, is it worth it? Sometimes it's not. Mostly, actually, it's not. Rarely is my outburst worth the spiritual coin that it costs me to have that outburst. And I've noticed that when I refrain from the outbursts that are so costly, almost every time, without fail, on the end, at the very end of the refrain, there seems to be a descending softness and a peace and a sweetness and a hopefulness that emerges because I practiced for just a moment patience. Our lesson is different than what's there for me. Experience a measure of faith. I'll deal with that next week. Is that okay? I'm thinking all these things God is, I am. That will work for me because that's really moving me today. How do I stay in all these things God is, I am, when there's a busload of people coming into my community and I'm upset because they're there without legal fashion? How do I stay in all these things God is, I am, really, when I have a blemish or a thing that's getting bigger? How do I stay in all these things God is, I am, when I got the second notice from the phone company? How do I stay in all these things God is, I am, when I know that they're about to make cuts at work? Well, I have actually found a surefire twofold method every time. It works every time for me. It has worked every time without fail. Two things that I can do to keep me in all these things God is, I am, even when it appears that all these things that the world is, I hope to be not. One of them is to add a little piece of joy into your life every day. Every day. And I know how to do that for me. And I'm suggesting if you don't know, it's time for you to find out. And then unleash it into your life. The second thing is to practice your spiritual practice. So add joy, practice your spiritual practice. I want to be really transparent with you. I usually am, but I don't often tell you things at this level. The things I'm about to tell you. I have a dirty little secret. I actually have a lot of them, but I'm only going to tell you one right now. Okay. This particular dirty little secret is kind of embarrassing because I really pride myself on taking care of my body. That's part of my spiritual practice. I like to take care of my body, mostly. And when I'm not in a cycle of indulgence and overeating and over everything, when I'm not in that cycle, I'm mostly conscious. And even though I know that all of the indicators would point to how bad this is, and even though I'm loath to tell all of you in Northern California who are hypersensitive to ingredients in food, and probably many of you watching online, I want to tell you something about my dirty little secret. I like Cremora. I know, and Coffee Mate. And you know these powdered these little powdered coffee additives. See, now I know that what's in them is high fructose corn syrup, and I know that it's made with hydrogenated vegetable oils, and I know that people would rather drink gasoline than be seen drinking this. See, I know it. So that's because I know this about you is why I keep it hidden in the trunk of my car. It's why it's never in the kitchen where Ceci can clean it out or throw it away, or Petra will ask me about it. No, see, I take my cup of coffee up into my office and I close my door and I quietly open the drawer of my desk and I unscrew the cap and I have a moment of holiness. But you know, it's on Weight Watchers, 2 teaspoons is 0 points, so it's free. And so I don't have to actually ask myself if it's worth it. But it makes me so happy when I drink it that the 10 calories and the little bit of corn syrup and the hydrogenated vegetable oils is to me worth it. Now, that may sound really silly to you, but it's funny. I actually have this enormous sense of joy when I taste it. Now, I think why that is because I learned to love coffee drinking it with my sister Peggy. Peggy died in the year 2000. She died of pancreatic cancer. She was my oldest sister. And she was the woman who was like a second mother to me. She was the first of the daughters in my family. And Peggy had her first child before my mother had her last. So she is almost of a different generation. But I learned to drink coffee with Peggy. And Peggy always used powder creamer. And to this day, when I taste coffee, I'm not in my office hiding from you. I'm not in the parking lot at Starbucks or Pete's with that really good coffee and sneaking in my creamer, which I do. So if you guys see me in the outer parking lot of Pete's, don't bother me. So I'm not at Pete's or Starbucks. I'm in my sister's kitchen. And it makes me really happy. And it's worth it. To me, it's worth it. So I consciously design my life such that I know things are going to happen in my day that won't always thrill me. But that's why I add a little bit of Coffee Mate to my day, and all is well with the world. Now, the second part is a surefire way, a tried and true way to experience all these things God is, I am, is to practice your practice. And stop making excuses. Practice your practice. Just do it. Just do it. The Buddha was asked, what have you gained through meditation? And he said, I've gained nothing. And the one who asked said to him, well then, why would you suggest we do it? If you've gained nothing, why would I want to do it? Why would I want to do meditation if you gain nothing? And the Buddha said, let me tell you what I lost through meditation. Sickness, anger, depression, insecurity, the burden of old age, the fear of death. That is the good of meditation, which leads to nirvana. You may not always gain something from your spiritual practice, but what you lose is stunning, and it transforms every time. I was watching a video recently about a young, very slender, skinny guy. He was so skinny, if he walked into a pool hall, they would chalk his head. You guys know what I'm talking about? He's the kind of person who's always like, he could eat whatever he wants and not gain weight, and then he tells you he's complaining about it, and most people in the world just want to pop him. He was describing a world in which he was raised. He was a fundamentalist. He was really one of those out for Jesus. He was a soldier for Jesus. He was going to make an impact in the world that way. Very conservative. You may have met somebody like that. And he was totally raising the flag for God. He was a God cheerleader. And then he was diagnosed with non-Hodgkin's lymphoma, and then his mother too, and then his mother passed away, and then he had bone marrow transplant, and then he lived because he had not only his God, but he had the cells of another human being inside of him. And then he began to wonder about this God that he was so in love with. How could this God take his mother? How could this God cause him to have such an illness? But he forgot about that quickly and raised the flags for God again. And then he was diagnosed with lung cancer. And the only cure for it was going to be transplant. And anyone with a history of cancer, as he had, was not going to get the approval for a transplant. And so his insurance company said no, and the doctors said no, and the universities and the surgery centers, they said no. And here he was, so sure about God, and now having a crisis in faith. But then something happened. People started stepping in, and people started helping, and people started writing emails, and people started saying to the universities, what do you mean it's so hard? You don't want to take on this case? I think you just continue to take on the easy cases to overinflate your success rates, which caused them to go, no, bring him on. And so he was taken in, and he had a lung transplant. And the story is unbelievable, but it goes on and on and on, and really comes down to this. This young, skinny, miraculous man is alive not just because of God, but because he is now 3 people. He has the lung of a man who had to die in order that he live. And he has the bone marrow of another person who painfully donated it so that he might live. And he has the cells of his own body. And he said this revelation caused him to realize that he does believe in God, but that the internet is his God, because through the internet, people made connections and made a difference. And the story is very complex, but it really comes down to the power of people when they come together. He said, we each have our own skills that contribute to the creating of the kingdom of God, but we serve God best when we do what we love for the greatest cause that we can imagine. People connected create a new world. People connected create a new world. And I had that experience twice this week. On Thursday, I had to go to Kaiser to have my annual blood test where they check like cholesterol levels and to see how many Fruit Loops I'm eating. You know, they want to check this stuff. And I'm pretty strong in a lot of things, but when something's hooked up there and I see my blood come out, I get like really weird. Like really, really weird. It's kind of creepy how weird. I get like Lucy was in the play earlier. I get like that. But I learned something at Kaiser this week. If you tell them you're dizzy, you get candy. Now trust me, this is not a trick that I will forget. Next time I walk in Kaiser, for whatever reason, I'm going to go, oh, I'm dizzy, because they give you candy. But I noticed something else. If you don't tell them you're dizzy, but you exhibit the symptoms of dizziness while this is happening, you get people around you very quickly, lots of them. So the woman drawing my blood, her name was Marine, and she's from somewhere in the Middle East. And she looks like she enjoys her job. And I was sorry that I couldn't enjoy her job with her, because the world began to soften and the things were focusing and out of focus. And I heard her voice kind of like the Charlie Brown, wah, wah, wah. And she said, and I just heard very clearly, Bobbiette! And all of a sudden this very large African-American woman with authority comes walking in and puts her face right in front of me and says, where are you? How old are you? What day of the week is this? Who's the president? And we're having this dialogue. And then she said, are you okay? And I said, yes. And then we were done. And I looked at her and went, who are you? But then I flashed on this skinny kid on the video, and I was thinking that we each have our own skills, and those skills contribute to creating the kingdom of God. And Bobbiette was so with me that all of that disappeared, and I experienced for just a moment the kingdom of God. I experienced, even with blood coming out of my arm on purpose, all these things God is, I am. And I was even present for Bobbiette because I practiced my practice, which keeps me, and because I had my coffee mate in the parking lot. I had another experience of holiness right after that. While the tissue was, or the cotton ball was taped to my arm, I went straight to an oral surgeon because I'm participating in a study, because I don't have enough to do. I'm participating in this study because when I had an implant put in 3 years ago, it failed, and it was put in and failed, and bone cadaver graft, which causes Reverend Susan to say, dead man talking. Yes, I know. She is a troubled, twisted soul. I don't know if you know this. Yes, I know. And she says, I taste dead people. So the doctor, I told you before that, yeah, it was supposed to be a secret, but we're not. Who are they going to tell? So the doctor says, I don't like that it's failing. This doesn't work for me. And he's determined that he's going to make this right. So I'm participating in this stem cell bone graft study. And I said, sure, I'll do that. And what I didn't know, do you guys get queasy? Some of you, if you do, just do this. It go la 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 la. Because I want to tell you. So I was in a chair right after this happened with Bobbiette and Marine. I'm in a chair here on Willow Street in San Jose with Dr. Fagan, the oral surgeon, and he was like right here, like a person sitting behind me in an airplane seat, that close. And then Roxy was here, holding my mouth like this, And then Heidi was here with a tray, constantly handing things without the doctor speaking. And they had pulled my gums up, and then they started cleaning, and it was surreal. Then I'm there, because it's a study, there was like video cameras, and I'm watching as they were cleaning around the roots of my teeth, and then packing this stuff in. Anyway, I'm telling you, I'll stop. Well, I'll have to call Bobby Yett in here to take care of you, right? What day of the week is this? Who's the president? And I'm looking at these people while my gums are open, and I'm awake, and I'm thinking, and then the voice said, is it creepy to think that? I don't know if I should be thinking such things. But I was so moved that I was in the care of these three people who were performing the miracle that God would perform if God could, but God is, because God is the hands of the surgeon and the assistant and the other assistant. And then I was hearing that skinny kid online again talking about what I didn't tell you. He said, each one of us is a creator. But together, we are the creator. And that lends itself to all these things God is, I am. Each one of us is a creator, but together we are the creator. And that causes me to begin to wind down. I'm going to ask you to join me as we pray together. Oh, by the way, I'm stunned. I have no pain, no swelling, and no medication that I needed. I have some, but I'm going to save that for a party. Because why waste it, you know? Why waste it when I have cream coffee made and all is well? This makes no sense, and I can't tie it all together. Let me just say God is really good. God is good all the time, 24/7, 365. Let's pray. I'm very grateful to be praying with you in this room, with these people right now. I'm very grateful that there's only one life, one power, not two, but one. And there's nothing opposed to this one power. There's nothing that would negate this prayer. There is no energy or devil or negativity that will stop my word. And so I speak my word for anyone within earshot. It's this easy and this simple. God is life and we are life, and God is joy and we are joy, and God is peace and love and light and beauty and power. And all these things that God is, you are. And when things appear to be in the way, sadness, disappointment, broken dreams, the echo of this prayer will come back and boost you and lift you and transform you, because I said it will. And that is sufficient for me. And I'm deeply grateful for this, because I know that it creates something real and measurable. And lastly and finally, I'm grateful to Kaiser and the bowl of candy, and so it is. So today is going to be the last game of the World Cup, and I know most Americans have not been big soccer fans until the United States made it into the last the final 16, and the United States was totally present and involved until those America fell out. But today is the last game, and it is between Germany and Argentina. And to give you some idea of how important it is to the rest of the world, it would be like having a game in the United States wherein the World Series and the Super Bowl and the NBA Finals and the Stanley Cup were all in one. That's what today is like for the rest of the world. Now, we might think, oh, that's just silly, but we get kind of crazy with our own football and baseball and basketball and hockey too, because I've seen your bumper stickers out there, you Sharks fans. So I'm telling you this because I'm wondering ultimately, what difference it makes who really wins. I mean, in 10 years' time, will we remember who really wins? In the book of Corinthians, book 1 of Corinthians, Paul tells us that athletes train very hard to win a competition for a crown that will not last. So instead, maybe we want to start training for a crown that will last. And I'm telling you, one crown that will last is your spiritual practice. Practice your practice. Even if you've never done it, start today. In fact, you did. You started today. There was 2 minutes of silence. You are now practicing your spiritual practice. Even 2 minutes. Do it again tonight, and you're practicing your spiritual practice. Another way that you can practice your practice is to be generous as you can to keep this center going and to keep this center thriving. As the ushers come forward, I'm going to ask you to join me in the giving affirmation. And I'm going to ask you to join me in saying that giving affirmation in such a way that it makes an impact in the community, that it resonates out. And I'm going to ask you to bless whatever it is you're able to give. If it's a lot, or even if it's a little, or if it's nothing, bless what it is that you can give in such a way that it makes an impact in the lives of other people. Please say the giving affirmation with me. My eyes and ears are attuned to the opportunities the universe provides for me to receive. I am open to receive what blessings are coming my way today and every day.
Plant your seed, watch it grow, right where fear and anger live, and the walls illume high. Shine a light on the soil of forgiveness, where we all live and move beneath the same sweet sky. Watch the night return today, as that gentle wind of wisdom blows the boundaries all the way, and we'll find we have all the love we need, and it all begins when we plant a seed. Patient earth, bathe our hands in the wisdom of your love that has waited so long for our hearts to awake from the dream of separation, believing right is wrong and wrong is right. Watch the night return today, as that gentle wind of wisdom blows the boundaries all the way, and we'll find that we have all the love we need, and it all begins when we plant a seed. No turning back to those pages of regret, where the list of pain and sorrow just goes on. Right here, right now, we can forgive and forget. We can put the past behind us. No more bitterness to blind us. There's a field where each soul is invited to the dance of eternal peace. Meet me there, and we'll dance reunited, and we'll water the soil with the tears of our release. Just one seed can turn the tide, bursting with the hope that still humanity abides. Hearts are healed, the souls are fed, spirits freed, and it all begins begins when we plant a seed, and it all begins when we plant a seed. Please plant that seed.
Hi. Oh, thought I turned into television for a minute. That was scary. Hi, everybody. We have a few announcements. I'm going to let Ann start us off.
Good morning. I'm Ann Marshall, and we are launching our donation drive for the upcoming Diamond and Denims live and silent auction. So July is the month that we'll be collecting donations. Come by the table, check out what we have. We have lots of ideas and ways that you can donate: time, money, timeshares, services, products, and we have an amazing list, a wish list from the center. So perhaps you're in construction, you know manufacturers of schoolroom furniture. Just come by and we'll fill you in on what we need and how you can help. We'll be right out in Fellowship Hall after service. Thank you.
Thank you, Ann. And here's what's coming up this week at the center. We have Wednesday night sowing seeds of, our Wednesday night, our Wednesday night free spiritual practices class from 7 to 8 p.m. this week will feature its third Wednesday. So we feature Suzanne Mulcahy and Jan Risley, who will take you through an experience of interplay. It's so much fun. We've been having a great time on our third Wednesdays, unlocking the wisdom of our bodies through movement. Again, that's free. And then on Thursday nights, we have our meditation, Awaken Thursday, from 7 to 8 p.m., followed by a short reading and a meal that we share together in silence. That's also free. The meal is prepared for you. And Creative Brilliance starts this Friday, so you can play with paint and canvas and create all of these works of art that you see on our platform on Sunday come from the Creative Brilliance class, and many of the students have never ever before put paint on canvas, and this is what happens. So we encourage you to try that. That begins on one of these Fridays. Lost my place. Oh, there we are. July 18th. Thank you. And that's this Friday. And Fellowship One training. I spoke to you last Sunday to let you know that on Sunday the 20th, right after both services in Fellowship Hall, Reverend Megan and maybe Max, we may let him out by then, will be here to lead you through an orientation to where you get to come onto our Fellowship One site, which is our internal people care system, and you can create your own profile. You can sign up for certain updates if you want. We don't send you anything without your permission, but it's a really great way for us to care for you better and to let you know what's happening and register for classes and all of that. Dr. David's class starts on July 21st, Managing Emotions and Thriving Under Pressure. It's only a 4-week class, so I'm expecting great things, because you would think that topic would require 4 months, but it is Managing Emotions and Thriving Under Pressure. Please sign up online if you will, or you can see one of our concierge team members in the blue vest. They are out in Fellowship Hall right after service to help you if you'd like to register there. If you are interested in practitioner training, whether you are starting this September or if you just want to hear more information about what it is to be a licensed practitioner, if you feel called to that next higher calling, Doris Hoffman is hosting an orientation on Sunday, July 27th at 12:30. Please save that date. Remember our talent show, CSL's Got Talent. Yes, we do. On Friday, July 25th. That's also at 7 p.m. And if you have a talent that you would like to share, much like Lucy, then please let Julia Smith know, and we will love to have you in our talent show. I think that's it, other than to tell you July-August outreach. Liz, are you going to come up and talk to us too? And Marcia? July and August outreach, we're adopting kindergartners who are temporarily in need, and you can get school supplies for them. And very quickly, there were 12 people who helped with today's skit that were our letter carriers, and up until a week ago, I didn't know who all 12 of them were going to be, so their names are not in here, but I know you join me in thanking them for stepping in at the last minute to help us.
No. Oh, hi. So there were about 30 of us that went to Bali in January of this year, and we're going to go. Another 30 will be going this next January. So moving was it for us that went. The group of us that went there were moved by what's called a spirit house. We found spirit houses on private properties and hotels and supermarkets and just about everywhere, and we wanted one too. So a group of us that were in Bali found one. It was shipped here to the United States in several pieces. It was constructed this week, and it's actually in our garden to be consecrated this morning. This is Liz Fedina, she's your Court Council Chair, and this is Marsha Benkala, the immediate past Court Council Chair. Both of them were with us in Bali and are here today to consecrate this. May we have about 60 more seconds of your time? So Liz, tell us what the Spirit House is and what we're going to do today.
So the purpose of a spirit house is to house the spirits who are the caretakers and guardians. And we are going to be blessing the spirit house using traditional Balinese symbolism. And the first of which is incense, which the Balinese people believe provides clarity and wisdom. The second is holy water, which was blessed specifically for us by priests at one of the temples that we visited in Bali. And they believe that holy water opens the heart to prayer. And lastly, there will be flowers, which carry prayers, make them effective, and honor the manifestation of God in all beings.
So I'm going to explain a little bit about the ceremony that you'll see. So flowers are very significant to the Balinese in their offerings and their rituals. And during the temple rituals, the Balinese clasp a different number of flowers in their hands while the priests pray. So praying with empty hands signifies our connection with our soul. Praying with one flower honors the Supreme One. 3 flowers pays respect to the trinity of the Hindu gods, Brahma, Vishnu, and Shiva. And then praying with more than 3 flowers honors the manifestation of God in every being, you and me. So join us right after the close here, where we will immediately go out to the Sacred Space Garden in front of the labyrinth, and we will bless our spirit house.
Thank you. Would you all please stand and take the hand of the person on your right and on your left? And once you repeat after me, something wonderful is happening as me right now. It's this thing called life. Life is in my mind. Life is in my body. Life is in my relationships. Life is in my finances. I see it. I think it. I feel it. I believe it. I accept it. I express it. Just the way that it is. And just the way that it is not. All these things God is, I am.
All these things God is, I am.
And Michelle,
Hey, Michelle. Tell Mitch that we were watching the Tour of France. We go, Mitch should be in the Tour of France. Mitch should be doing the Tour.
He hates bicycling.
I mean, he's done everything else. That book he wrote was inspiring. It's a great book. Her husband wrote a book.
I have it.
Yeah, it's a great book. Great book. And notes?
Yes. So we completely missed the concert. It was so loud that we didn't.
Well, I didn't know what the cue was.
So Pat says blah blah blah, whatever he says, but then Denny has the last line.
Over there?
He's in the back.
Okay.
He was the one that announced it's time to play No Holmes. He's got a line at the very end.
I didn't know that. Okay.
No, it's okay.
Got it.
I realized I forgot to say that, but I mean, and you can play a little bit if you wanted to just noodle as they were leaving, but they couldn't anyway.
Well, no, now we know, and I'll wait till then to pull out the stuff.